Lila Farley, long time no see. Very happy to do this episode of Farley's Far East. I have a special guest joining me today that will be, the only audience member here so far, which is Olivia. Hello, Olivia.
Hello.
No, we have five people here.
A long time listener, first time caller.
Are you stealing that joke from me?
No.
You know I always do that for the Boston accent. Long time listener, first time caller.
Good job.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that I want you to introduce me as a friend of the pod.
Yeah, friend of the pod, which
Thank
this
you.
isn't a podcast yet, but it has the potential to do that. And that is the goal.
I know all I want in my life, all I ever dreamed of is to be a friend of a pod.
Longtime friend of the pod, Olivia Xing. Hey, what's the tone on your last name? Xing?
Xing, yeah.
Olivia Xing. You want to introduce yourself for the Farley's Far East audience because they probably might not know who you are.
Okay. My name is Olivia Xing. I'm a comedian in LA.
Yes.
I'm from China.
A bilingual comedian that can do it in both languages and also doesn't stray away from sensitive topics. That's pretty big, right?
Sensitive topics like
the ones we're going to discuss today. What a perfect segue.
What a perfect segue.
KW says hello. Zoo, hello as well. Why do those rifles on hands look like Mr. Oh, you're talking about the guy from... That's from all right, we'll get there later. All right, so first thing that we're going to be talking about today is what is going on in the Chinese internet, specifically what is going on in the comment sections of the Chinese embassy. Okay.
Oh.
All right, so I've translated some of the comments, but let's first go to the Weibo. This is the Chinese embassy's Weibo. Okay, they have 340万, which is 3.4 million followers, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yes, 3.4 million followers. And you can see there's a post right here, but we're going to get into that post later. The first post that we want to focus on, obviously,
it's giraffe.
Obviously, is a report about tracking the movements of giraffes.
We all know we care so much about environment on this channel.
How?
Farley, it's an environmentalist.
If you know Lila Farley, you know I'm a fan of giraffes.
That's one of the most phallic animals on the planet.
Giraffes are phallic? God, what kind of phallics are you phallicking with?
What? You don't think so?
Giraffes, I guess so. I think a rhino is probably more close to what I'm familiar with in terms of phallic images, right? Because giraffe, that's a long neck.
But if you look at like the long neck with the head.
Yeah, long neck with the head. So you're just cutting off the body then. I'm going more to the body for my phallic images. Look at that. I even prepared the design that it could be right there, even though it's too small, probably. Yeah. But so anyway, this post about giraffes became the random target of Chinese netizens that wanted to voice their frustration with China's stock market. Olivia, if I know you, I know that you're a huge fan of stocks.
Oh, I love stock, love market. If by stock you meant the thing you could make with bones, and market you mean where you could get bones.
Bones? Oh, wait, what?
like oxtail bones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The only kind of stock I care about.
Nice.
No, I do care about stock market because my mom.
Okay.
Because my mom put her money in stock market, and she she does it without. Well, technically, she puts her money in mutual fund. That mutual fund, it's like influenced by the stock market too.
Oh, wait. Is it a mutual fund in China though?
A mutual fund in China.
Oh, that's where she went wrong.
Exactly, and but mutual fund's supposed to be safer.
Yeah, mutual fund, index fund. That's what you're supposed to do, but
it's
not in
China.
Safe
anymore in China. Even mutual fund is not safe.
The Chinese stock market is the most pyramid scheme type thing in the entire Chinese economy, which is a huge pyramid scheme, right? So the Chinese stock market is the biggest example of, you could say, a pyramid scheme or just like an unfair game that you will lose, that you eventually will lose, in that think of inside trading in America. Inside trading, which is, for
you already know the information and
you already know the
when to
information.
sell
Okay, just
and
making
when
sure
to
you know
buy.
that. Olivia's an artist, guys. Okay, so I'm not sure how much she knows about financial markets and stuff like that.
My ex-boyfriend was a finance bro.
Oh, oh my God, you're into finance bros? Ooh.
Well, that's why it's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, nice. Besides X. Nice. So the next person you find is going to be like a major in 13th century English poetry, right? The other extreme.
That sounds very lesbian.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's perfect. A granola woman from Vermont that
from San Francisco.
Oh, there you go. Basically the same thing. Vermont's just a colder San Francisco with more heroin.
It is they use probably more granola.
Yeah. So anyway, this post, it used the comment section. If we scroll down, you will see, first of all, there is about 140,000 comments. Now that's after they've been deleted. Okay. They've constantly been deleting them. Okay. But now if you look at a typical post like Black History Month's comment number, it's about 6,000. This one's 1,211. It's only got about 8,000 likes. The Black History Month's got almost 6,000 likes. But then when you get to this post about giraffes, or the very phallic creature of giraffes, it's all of a sudden 670,000 likes. Now, why is that? What is happening? It's what they know. It's what's known in Chinese as chongta. Okay, chongta. Do you want to explain that for our non-Chinese speaking audience, Olivia? You think you can explain chongta?
Based on my limited knowledge of chongta, it's from the game.
Yes, League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Woo!
See, I dated a finance bro. I told you, I know all this lingo.
Wow, that's impressive.
I'm really. This is funny that you described it as chongta, because I would think of this common area as a Wailing Wall.
Yes, yeah, it's the Wailing Wall.
But the way you describe chongta make it sound a lot more righteous.
Yeah, the thing about chongta is you're leaving a comment section. So what chongta means is like charge the tower, but it comes from League of Legends, and it means that you're just saying goodbye to risk and danger, and you're posting something online that you fully expect is going to get deleted and might even get your account temporarily banned or permanently banned. Right. So it is kind of heroic.
It is kind of heroic. So right. I really like how you described it.
You're just like, go charge the tower. It makes me think of the Saving Private Ryan D-Day storming D-Day Normandy beach scene. I don't know if you've seen Saving Private Ryan. It's a great movie. But anyway, these comment sections have been very much censored. However, you can still see the remnants of Chinese netizens coming here and either directly or indirectly making fun of the Chinese economy and specifically Chinese state media for trying to put out reports saying everything's good. People are really optimistic about the stock market. Don't worry, everything's good. Or people that just feel completely helpless and that they've got nothing left. And they're like, screw it. I'm going to go try and see if America can possibly save me. Can possibly come to help. And the best comments, luckily, your boy has not only screenshotted, but also provided some translations here as well. Angel is from Vermont. That's so funny. Dude, I lived in Vermont. For...
oh, you did?
For 5 years. Yes. I love Vermont. It's a lovely place to be 6 months out of the year. The other 6 months is brutal. So the company I work for does use Weibo, and we saw that U.S. Embassy post too. It honestly took us by surprise. There's so much to unpack with what's happened with the U.S. Embassy post. So let's get into the comments here real quick, because I think they are as interesting as they are funny. So the first one we got here is they could have just robbed us directly, but instead they gave us a few shares of stock. Who is they here? Who do you think they would be? Right, because in Chinese, it's the Chinese original text
very
here.
Contextual based.
It's very contextual based. They do not have a subject in that sentence. They really only have an object of the sentence, which is us. but they could have just robbed us, but instead they give us shares of stock. Now, who is they?
Well, okay, so us is the commoner.
Yes, of course.
Commoner is a very frequently used word when we talk in Chinese.
Yes, the common people.
Common people.
Yeah.
But now they call themselves the leeks. So 韭菜. And
leeks.
I guess it's because leeks, you could cut them. However, and they just keep coming back. And
yes.
And it's the state, is the government, the party.
The party.
Right. Who controls this free market?
Or who controls this scam of a game, which is the Chinese stock market. So I just think that that's beautiful, where it's like, hey, you guys could have just robbed us and it would have been much easier on everybody's soul, because we've been like, damn, we got robbed. But instead you had to give us stocks, right? You had to. The stock market sucks, whatever. It's all right. We don't need to do anything. We don't need to invest in it. But occasional news boasting, occasional news like bragging about how awesome the economy is, luring people in, then crashing. Would a decent person do that? 这是人干的事吗? So this is a really interesting thing to say here, is like, 这是人干的事吗? What they're saying is like, it's inhumane, the way that the Chinese government, and specifically state-run media, is trying to say that actually everything's good, everyone's optimistic, the economy and the stock market is going to be fine, luring dumb people in. And then in 2 days later, it goes into another crash, another free fall.
They love optimism. That's 正能量, that's one of the big thing that's used by the state media, the propaganda right now. Like we are happy, we're affluent, we are living peacefully.
So you tell me, how would you translate this one?
Oh my goodness.
So how would you translate that title? So
the entire nation.
Yes, hold on, let me give context. This is a People's Daily article that has since been mostly erased. At least the hashtag of the title has been frozen on Weibo. You can't see it because it was posted maybe like 3 days or 2 days ago. And it has just been used as a sarcastic tool to ridicule the government and how ridiculous state-run media is. But anyway, I want to hear how you translate this title.
Wow, 洋溢, that's like overwhelmed with, right? The entire nation is swimming in the atmosphere of positivity.
Yes. Yes, there is an atmosphere of optimism, just like pulsating throughout the country. It's just like so much optimism. It's like, wow, I can't stop being optimistic.
So interesting to me, because when I think of optimism, I think of America, like America's like this beacon of like the leader of the free world, or like this beacon of optimistic thinking and forward-looking thinking. But now China just learn from the best and doing much better. And instead, America is being a little more practical and sadder.
I think that Americans
a little solemn right now. America
are not optimistic. Yeah, no. Even though a lot of economic figures like point to a healthy economy, but there's like a huge discrepancy between how the economy is actually doing and how people feel like it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Whereas in China, it's the opposite, or at least they want it to be the opposite. They when you're dealing with something like a pyramid scheme, which is the China economy, is like you think that you can just continue to fool people to putting a ton of money into the scheme, and that's how the scheme can continue. Right. That's the only way the scheme continues.
To print, they could print more money if they want. That's
that's a really slippery slope, because if you do that, you can lose value really quick. But so let's go back to these beautiful comments here. All right.
The thing is, Chinese people are so good at sucking it and soldiers through.
Yes, Chinese people are the toughest people that can suffer, I think, more than anybody I know in the world, even more than like Indian people, which is why I think Chinese people do so well in America.
And also, I guess, in a authoritarian country, we just suck it.
Well, I think that because, I know so many Chinese friends of mine, like their parents came here, no English, and just like learned accounting, even though they like hate accounting, and just like did a job that they hate with like someone they're married to that they don't even really like that much, and raising children and putting them through like a good schooling system just to try and get them a better life. And like, I can't imagine millennials, but especially the Zoomers. I
A
cannot imagine the
Zoomer will
Zoomers
never do
just
that.
being like, you know what? I'm going to forget about myself for
See,
a
that's
little
why
bit.
there's the younger generation called Tamping, right? They're
Yeah.
like,
Lay flat.
instead of being the league, we just want to lay flat.
Instead of being
instead
the
of
league.
lean in, we want to lean back.
Yeah. Instead of leaning in, we want to lean back. That's a good one. Instead of leaning in, we want to lean actually flat. We just want to go, which I think is sometimes I always tell people, like, eventually, if something happens to me, my YouTube account gets shut down, or like my career really fails, I do think that there is a life where I could see myself moving to like the Midwest, getting like
to Vermont.
yeah, like getting a cheap. No, hell no, it's so cold. I can't. Vermont is way too cold. It'd be like Kansas or something, like Kansas. Buying like a cheap property and like, just getting really fat, playing video games and doing maybe some bullshit like translation job, and not really caring about my life that much. That's laying flat, Lila Farley version. Chinese person version of laying flat is every day eating ramen noodles, every day spending like $3 to spend the whole day at like an internet bar or internet cafe.
Right? Spends $3 on Temu.
Yeah. On like terrible materials, terrible products. But I mean, what's the choice? Like, what
There's
choice
no
do you
choice
have?
because the unemployment rate for the young generation, the rumor says it's like 40%.
It's got to be 40 or 50. I think it's probably 50. I mean, of my Chinese friends, none of them have jobs, but a lot of them are actors, but they don't even have jobs right now, unless they want to do like patriotic movies.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. But what's the 官方数据, the official statistic for the unemployment?
It's funny you asked because it was originally like 24 or something, and then they stopped posting it for a few months, and then they came back and they were like, yo, we got a new method for calculating unemployment. Actually, unemployment's like 14, 15% with the youth.
Damn, right? Math with Chinese characteristic.
Yeah, it's great because, I was worried about being fat when I got up to 230 pounds. But then I started using kilograms to measure it. And I'm actually only like 90 kilograms or something. I'm doing great, dude. That's how it works, right?
That's not how kilogram works, but that is how math with Chinese characteristics.
There's a joke. Works. Yeah, there is a joke here for the stand-up stage, right? So I think the stand-up joke is probably, I used to have an 8-pack, but then I started getting fat. But I realized I could actually, as long as I changed the definition of an 8-pack from 8 abs to 8 separate pieces of fat, then I actually still do have an 8-pack. Is that, I feel like that's this is called math with Chinese characteristics. Yeah, is that a good one? Is there a better joke there? Fuck, there is a room for a joke, but I can't find
There's too many jokes. I can't think of any jokes here, but all I can think of is what they could do with it. Like how they did with COVID, how they count death numbers. Like we stopped counting the death, people who died from asthma or other disease, pneumonia, and they didn't die from COVID. Not that many people died from COVID in China.
That's math with Chinese characters.
That's math with China. We're so good at math.
You guys are great at math. Yeah, you're
very good at math. That's what it is.
Yes. So that's what the context is for this entire giraffe incident. I think we just got to call it the giraffe incident of Chinese New Year 2024. Yeah. Right.
This happened New Year.
Exactly. So the Chinese New Year holiday is beginning. So it's beginning. So you have all these people finally leaving their schools, leaving their awful jobs, going home, probably talking with their friends and family and being like, yo, it really is terrible for basically everyone.
And now young people are going to go back home and asked by all the relatives, so how much you made last year? Or like,
oh, you mean the relatives are going to ask the young people? Yeah.
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 And
they do that.
Pressure.
They do that. You Chinese people, you guys sometimes, that's like, whoa. Like they straight up will be like, so what's your salary?
Yeah.
So what's your salary, dude? So sad. It is so sad. But what can you do other than laugh, especially when it's on a freaking giraffe post, dude? When it's on a giraffe post. Okay. Now, the thing that is positive here, and I think this is the irony, the kernel of irony amongst all of this, is that this type of chongta stuff does fill me with optimism about Chinese people and the youth in their future, right? Because it demonstrates that they're much more aware than a lot of the outside world might think, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you see this guy, the first comment here, he shares my sentiment when he says, sure enough, this comment section is filled with positive, forward-looking, happy, and harmonious holiday energy. That's
and
great.
The second one says, if there's use for me in lovely America, please just say the word.
Say the word and I'm there.
I like how you translated 漂亮国 to lovely America.
Yeah, that one I changed.
I think that translated the idea of what 漂亮国 means, because like 漂亮国 refers to America, which in Chinese is 美国. It means beautiful country.
Yeah,
we don't even call ourselves a beautiful country. Like we call ourselves the middle country, but we call America the beautiful country.
Yeah, but 漂亮国 is pretty country.
Pretty country.
Right. Yeah. Pretty. Right. Which is great. So
which is a little sarcastic.
Yes. So that is what's crazy about 漂亮国. It actually in the past was often used sarcastically to be like if you saw like huge protests in America, they'd be like, the America's, look at, this is the pretty country. Look at how beautiful it is. Right. All right, so then the third one here, we said, I love this one, and it's kind of hard to translate, but this is my favorite comment so far of this whole thing. So these comments were in this giraffe post. Okay, I want to reiterate this. I want to reiterate this, guys. This was in the comment section about giraffe protection and movement in the U.S., okay? I've heard it said that
why are there giraffes in the U.S.?
Yeah, so
I'm very confused.
That's what I saw too. So I was wondering if it was like in protected sanctuaries or something, because there are like sanctuaries in like Oklahoma and Florida and stuff. But I've heard it said that Wall Street opinion on A shares is divided. One side, they are the conservatives. They think that A shares are a fraudulent market. On the other side are the radicals. They think the conservatives are too conservative on their opinion. Right? Do you get that? So you should look at the Chinese and you might understand it more. Right? 诈骗. How would you translate 诈骗市场? Fraudulent market, right?
Fraudulent. It's a little
scam market.
Yeah, it's basically scam.
Yeah. So the conservatives are saying that it's a complete scam, and then there's radicals that think that the conservatives are being too conservative, that it's even more of than a scam. You see the sarcasm here? The translation should have done better. Right.
Yeah. No. Got it. So, right. The conservatives are too conservative. So, okay, I don't want to explain the joke, but
yes, I think the audience gets it, right, guys?
Yeah.
Chinese giraffes are much more cultured than American and African giraffes. Yes, they're much more civilized, Dustin, I would say. Much more civilized. I wonder if there's a single giraffe in China. Yeah, there's got to be in a zoo or something. Probably brutal living.
Isn't there a famous painting in like the National Museum in Taiwan of this guy looking at a giraffe?
Guy looking at a giraffe?
It was one. Yeah. So Zheng He, you know Zheng He, who?
Oh, I do. Yes.
One of the animals that Zheng He brought from his trip is a giraffe.
Zheng He. Which He is he? Wait, I know it. Wait, Zheng He was the like pirate, wasn't he?
No, not a pirate. Pirate is not hired by government. He was hired by the government. He's a eunuch who's a sailor.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He was a Muslim eunuch.
Yes.
That was a famous, but Okay, so I just associate sailor with pirate.
And he went to like Southeast Asian and other, and even Africa. Did he go to Africa that far? I don't know. Anyway, he brought back a giraffe.
I have the painting for us. Here we go. This is what you're talking about, right here?
Yep.
Oh, wait. Do you mean Puente Hills Nissan? Okay, God. Chinese sites, dude.
Oh, yeah, I know.
These
Just
people.
search giraffe 整合 in
I did.
English.
I did.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Look, our ancient fascination with giraffe begun here.
So
since Song Dynasty. Anyway, no, Ming Dynasty. Sorry.
I'm going to use that for my thumbnail when I talk about this on the Chinese in a Chinese stream. This painting right here. Yeah,
I think there's another painting.
Giraffes have a long storied history in China. One of which being the focal point of expressing how angry you are with the world. And this is the last one that I have here. And I just, it just reflects everybody. We don't have to read this one out loud. People that are, you guys can just read it yourselves, the translation there. I think it really does reflect an improvement on the typical Chinese youth, right? And their idea of what a democracy can provide versus what a authoritarian government regime can provide, right? Because it wasn't always like this. When zero COVID just happened in 2020, everywhere you went was just like "厉害我的国," which is like our country is incredible. We're kicking ass. This is the rise of the East, the fall of the West. And then about 2 years in, maybe a year and a half into zero COVID, you started to see a lot more incidents of Chong, of charging the tower.
I know.
A lot more.
A lot more. Nationwide protest happened.
Yeah, and then you had the nationwide protest. However, as a China observer, as a age-withered China observer that I am, okay?
That you are.
That I am. I did kind of think that like, oh my God, I got to get off this Chinese website. It's like lagging, man. Everything is so bad. Okay, as a weathered China observer, when they got out of zero COVID, I got to be honest with you guys, I was leaning towards like what Lu Xun, the famous Chinese author that I often say is like the Chinese version of Mark Twain. He always pointed out these like certain weak inherent characteristics, these flaws within Chinese people. And one of them was Qian Wang, which is like forgetfulness and like the ability to forget, which comes back to what we were saying. Chinese people can really eat bitter, is what they say. They can really tough it out. Because they also have this extreme ability to completely forget what happened. And if you don't believe it, look at how many Chinese old people are not willing to talk about the Cultural Revolution and what they went through, right? Or that are willing to even forget about it because they've seen like economic prosperity come, right? So what I was thinking when they came out of zero COVID was within 2 weeks after that protest, or within a month, you're going to see the same nationalism bullshit that you were seeing forever. And to my surprise, which is a pleasant surprise for me, that absolutely has not happened. Okay, it absolutely has not happened. And it's even worse. Every single government media post, if the comment section is turned on, which they rarely are, it's a certain thing where they can pick the comments that they want to show.
Yeah.
Right? They can pick it. Because you see in things like, I saw a picture of a big fake pig that was on the back of a truck that was being taken for like some New Year's event, right? And all the comment sections were like, when is he going to step down? When's the pig going to step down? And all these people were just insinuating that Xi Jinping is a pig. And it's just like, it's crazy. I mean, the sentiment has got to fill you with some type of optimism.
It does fill me with optimism because I'm glad that they see that this is not just an economic problem. This is not just.
That's the key.
Yeah, it's also a political problem. Like this is rooted. This is rooted from the system that is corrupt. So they can't just say, "Oh, it's it's because the market didn't work.
Right.
No, it's right.
They can't say this is just a cycle.
Exactly.
Right. This is just a phase, because you did see that come out for a while. But now I think it's like so obvious that something like the Chinese stock market, the government can't save it, right? The only way, because the government has tried to, and they've been injecting a lot of money, and they've even Julio 英文 Julio 怎么说
Julio.
Yeah, Julio, like it's not
arrested,
detained,
right?
They've detained people from China's own FCC, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. So China's own Stock and Securities Commission, China's own Stock and Securities Commission, have been detained, and also stock traders have been detained for what they're saying is malicious shorting on stocks, or like basically selling stocks. You're maliciously selling stocks. Okay. Which is hilarious, because how do you define malicious selling of stocks?
Malicious selling stocks.
It's like, are you in an evil lair somewhere with like a cloak on, like, fuck the economy, I'm gonna sell off all these stocks, and they don't report. You're not allowed to report negative information, which I want to hear, Olivia. I mean, how can we turn that into a stand-up joke? That in China, you're not allowed to. In China, the news you read is not allowed to report negative information. So it's like,
it's it's like there's something there. I know.
Right. So what I always go back to is I always try and think male and female relationships. So I'm always like, imagine if you had a dating app where it was like, you can use the 2 dating apps, you could say, which one of the dating apps in this example is like America or a democratic society. And one dating app is China. So imagine the China dating app. All the women that you see on there, they have never faced any sliver of negativity. They're not allowed to see negativity. Would you be interested in those women? That's not a good comparison.
No.
What is it? There's got to be a joke there.
This censorship is definitely getting more and more ridiculous, to a point that it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but okay, so you're not allowed to report on negativity. Right. That's what they say. You cannot report on negativity. And they've had meetings and conferences, the government, where it's like, hey, how can we better stop economic negative reporting? Okay, so instead of like focusing on, hey, how can we improve the economy? It's always kill the messenger. How can we be best at killing the messenger?
It's like that joke we wrote. The joke we wrote about on dating app, like you swept 100 women and you only got like 2. Only 2 of them swiped on left on right on you.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, oh, it's 100% rate for me.
Yeah, so it's like I'm actually getting 100% matches with the people that swiped right on me. Like, there you go.
That create delusions, right? The delusion is that I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't know whether C believes in those delusions. Like, do you think he's dumb, or he's actually really smart and also really worried and gonna think of ways in which, like, he could freeze the market, or he could
I think Xi Jinping
get out of this.
The standing Politburo in general, the standing committee, like, which is like 9 dudes. It was like, I think 12 before Xi Jinping got into power. Typically, they would like instruct their underlings and the other bodies of the Chinese government what they want to see. They said, this is what we want. This is what we should prioritize. And then you leave actually how to do it, like the practical implementation, you leave it to other people in the government, right, to do. And I think that Xi Jinping absolutely does that, where he's just like, yo, and he doesn't even have like the most basic knowledge of law or economics, right? So Xi Jinping will say something like, I really want to make sure that we keep the state-owned enterprises fed, right? Because those people support me. But also we need to strengthen and encourage private enterprise, right? How do we do that? He doesn't.
Are they still doing that?
No, well, he will say stuff like that. So Xi Jinping if you ever look at stuff that he says, like his open letters that he puts out and shit, he contradicts himself so much.
I mean, the free market is itself, like the idea of the stock market itself contradicts with communism.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. It is inherently contradictory.
Yeah, because stock market relies on democracy. Free market relies on democracy and the
free flow of information
and the law of democracy.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's legal.
The law will there's no legal system in China and there's no democracy in China. So it's like wow.
Wait, your hair. Get your hair. It's killing your mic. There you go. Okay. Yes. So that's why, but you have to look at what happened with Hong Kong. What did Xi Jinping do in Hong Kong? He looked at a money cash cow for the Communist Party where you can get trillions of RMB converted into international currency with ease. And all you had to do was not fuck with their legal system, which you remember how that Fan Songzhong, like the Songzhong, the sending to China legal amendment, you know why it came about, right? You remember why it came about? A lot of people forget this. It was because there was the booksellers talking about the sexual lives of the Chinese Communist Party members, right?
Oh my God. That's why. I did forget how it started.
One of the reasons. There's obviously a lot of speculation, but that's where it really started.
Where is he now?
Those booksellers, a lot of them got arrested or, assassinated, and not even on Chinese soil. Like one of them was arrested in like Thailand.
Well, but the entire world is Chinese soil, so excuse me.
Let's not forget the Article 39 of the Hong Kong Basic Security Law means that you could be in Mars, already in a colony on Mars, and as long as you say Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh, you are an enemy of the state and you could be arrested. You are breaking the law.
Yeah.
Does our audience know that? Do you guys know that? Anyway, let's look at what these people are saying real quick. All right, Dustin, these people, I mean our lovely audience. He knows there is delusion, but the true delusion is him thinking that, well, it can't be that bad, so it's probably okay. I mean, the West is still kowtowing to us enough, so we're doing good. You know what I think it is? Xi Jinping also came out and said that the youth of China needs to 学会吃苦, 学会怎么喜欢吃苦. Okay, he said that. Xi Jinping told the people.
Do you think it's because he used to eat bitter when he was a kid, and so he's traumatized, and this dude?
He's like, you guys should eat bitter too. Right? You guys need to eat bitter too.
Go see a therapist.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Xi Jinping needs a therapist, or the entire nation of China?
Xi Jinping needs a therapist.
Yeah. Xi Jinping.
Imagine what he could say in therapy session. So my father.
My father abandoned me in the countryside.
And the country prosecuted my father, and now one day I'll also prosecute their son.
Yeah, there you go. That's what he probably thinks. He's like, I'm going to go after those capitalists that really screwed me and my father over. But Xi Jinping, when he comes out with let's say shared wealth, you remember that 共同富裕? Okay, 共同富裕. The way that English media has translated 共同富裕, how would you translate 共同富裕?
Collective wealth.
Yeah, see, it's a funny one. So what the Western media translated to common prosperity. Okay, common prosperity, which I think is a little bullshit. I think that if you're doing 共同富裕, it should be, because 共同is shared. It's it's like we're sharing this together. So I would think it's share the wealth or shared wealth. 富裕. Now you could say, if you want to say shared prosperity, fine. When that came out, when Xi Jinping was pushing shared wealth, tons of Chinese billionaires in secret and in public were coming out and yo, what's going on? Whoa, this doesn't sound good for us. And Xi Jinping wrote an open letter, which was very 委屈. It was very, if you look at it, it feels like he was like, whoa, guys, everything's going to be fine. Okay. State-owned enterprises are going to get subsidies. The private industry is still going to kick ass. America can go fuck itself, but also we need American trade. Like all this stuff, just contradicting himself over and over. Right.
They love
to guess that he's an idiot.
Like Chinese incel love to speculate the theory that they have more things in their pocket they haven't used, like new energy.
Let's make sure that we get back to the word that you said there. Chinese incels, right? Okay, right. Chinese incels. So keep going. What do they say?
They love to say that they haven't used all their weapon yet. So like
yeah,
they have more strategy that they haven't.
They have more pieces they can play.
Yeah, more pieces they can play. Yeah, thank you. Apparently, thank you.
I was trying to think of it because I know the Chinese, so it would be they can still. It's like they have still more plays. Okay, they have more tricks in the bag, right?
Exactly. For example, like new energy. There's like we're gonna beat Tesla. We're gonna and what else? Something else, but those are like
if you want to guys know it, just go to that guy Cyrus's YouTube. But yeah, all the shills, they get all of those. It comes down the incel like logic. It comes down like everyone's like, okay, we got this report. What do we need to talk about? Electric cars. Okay, got it. Yeah.
But those things, they're such small percentage. But if you look at the bigger picture, like the real estate, how that's crumbling, and the stock market and the unemployment rate.
Yeah, public sentiment. What does that do? Like public sentiment.
Exactly, like mood-wise, like how is everyone feeling?
Super depressed. It's certainly not a country where literally optimism is oozing out of your eyeballs as people's daily might make you think, right? That optimism is just everywhere. 下大棋. Yeah, that's it. Wandering Mind has got it. Oh, look, the dream team.
Who is Average Joe?
Average Joe is a patron of Lilith Harley. Also a new fan of yours. Wait, so I didn't translate a phrase that I need to make sure that the non-Chinese speakers know is something that Xi Jinping said, which is that the youth needs to learn how to eat bitter, and they need to enjoy eating bitter. Okay.
Ugh, this is very scary because this is reminiscent of what the Communist Party used to do before like Cultural Revolution and other stuff. Like they say a lot, 忆苦思甜, right? This like those are like phrases that encourage when your leader is encouraging you to eat bitter, it means that they don't have anything else for you to eat.
They have nothing else. It's already there's literally nothing else. There's no slices of the pie left for you. But this is really funny that you said this, because what I think is so fun, this is a newspaper article, okay, from 1965. Okay, 1965, December 1965. Some of you may know that's when the Cultural Revolution started in China. Okay, which I don't know if you guys know anything about the Cultural Revolution, but it was basically the best period in Chinese history ever. Oh, wait, no, it was destruction of Chinese culture and history that now Chinese Communist Party apologists describe as 走了一些弯路. We took some detours. All right, we took some detours. We destroyed our history, our culture. We took some detours.
We took some detour. But that was the mistake made by one single person who's already dead, and our entire party is not responsible for it.
Well, what does the text right here say? 中国赢得世界各国人民的尊敬和钦佩. How would you translate
That's right. China has won everyone's respect and admiration.
The citizens from around the world. Their
citizens from around the world.
And their admiration. Okay.
All the earthlings.
Yes, all the earthlings, they all respect and admire China as it enters into its cultural revolution. Which, by the way, that's not true. But then the best part is you go over here. So we have 中国能在极短时间内成为第一流工业国. China can, within a short time, China will become top level industrial country.
Yeah, with the way with the way that our farmers make those steels out of a pot.
Yeah, out of pot, which is like the shittiest tin that the market can buy. But the best part is obviously the right side here. Do you see that?
America America has never been so depressed.
Americans in 30 years have never felt the amount of depression and melancholy that they feel knowing that China is entering into such a beautiful
they're
period.
so jealous of our progression in steel making. And
yes, if only they could force all the peasants to not only turn in their horrible cooking pots, but also murder all the sparrows that obviously eat the locusts that kill our crops. That would
you know Chinese history so well.
I have to be an expert on something. I'll tell you, it wasn't my dad. My grandpa told me, he said, be good enough and knowledgeable enough about something that people will pay you to do it, for your expertise. Right. What would you say
that patrons of Lila Farley?
You have to be an expert. Yo, wait. All right. So
He's an expert.
We're done with the topic. In the last 10 or 15 minutes of this stream, first of all, I got to ask you a question. Do you think, what would you say if I had to pay you for your expertise? What would you say your expertise is?
Whoa.
So I have my own answer for you, but obviously, I want to hear your answer.
I'm trying to find out. I'm very broke, and I would love to know
being broke. But you're a student, though, so you should be figuring it out, right?
Please tell me.
I feel like it's performing arts. It's just a performing arts. You're just because you're not only doing stand up, you're also doing stage performance. You also do
theater and camera acting.
Yeah, camera acting too. Right?
Yeah. And but stand up is my jam. Stand up is my favorite thing to do. It's because the immediate feedback. It's such high.
It is such high. It's actually like learning a language too, because you get the same high when you're learning languages, and people are like, "Holy shit, your fucking Chinese is really good, or your English is really good," But speaking of stand up, you want to inform the audience? Do you have any upcoming dates?
Oh, I have a show next Sunday. I was going to have a show in Hollywood tonight, but it's raining. So
it
don't have that show anymore. And next Sunday, which is Super Bowl day, if you don't watch Super Bowl, you can come to watch me do stand up at Hollywood Comedy.
Oh, you're doing stand up on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it was really, really sad. But also, it's Lunar New Year next Saturday. What are you gonna do for Lunar New Year?
Maybe shrooms in the park.
The best way to celebrate.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. By the way,
you should do shroom. It's like you should make a bunch of dumplings, and one of them is shroom stuffing. And
yeah. And what? Distribute them at the China New Year's event?
Yeah, it's like, have you done those where you put a coin in one of the dumpling, and whoever gets the coin will be lucky, or will make a lot of money
or choke
next year,
or choke on accident,
or choke and die.
Oh, Dustin's right. That would be trap dumplings, right? Because you know what a trap house is where you sell drugs and so trap dumplings is like you put the drugs in the dumplings.
Honestly, if C does drugs,
Xi Jinping, if he did ecstasy or shrooms, it would change everything.
Yeah, he will be more chill. Or when
I have a joke about this.
Tell me the joke.
Mahatma Gandhi, he always says, "Be the change that you want to see in the world."
Be the change you want
to see. So I've over the last 3 years been putting LSD into China's water supply.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, Otto says one thing that you could get paid for is being extremely charming, which that goes into performance arts. That goes to performance arts.
That is so nice.
Yes.
Good.
Do you know that there's 30,000? What is it, a month? No, over the year. There was 30,000 Chinese seeking asylum in America on the border. So he's making the joke, or she's making the joke. What if there was 30,000 Americans?
I did hear about this. I heard that more and more Chinese are trying to cross border from Mexico.
Yeah. The sad part is a lot of them still love the Communist Party. They're just like, I'm just trying to work here, though, in America. I'll send them.
We should, honestly, we could do like an episode about that, like the border crosser from China, because you don't really think about them, because like, what can we do? We can't swim across the Pacific.
They all come. There's like the Zouxian. There's that route that they all go. Yeah, we could do that in a future episode.
Yeah, Zouxian is.
Yeah, because I also know some, by the way, that have come here illegally.
You know some people who've done that?
I know some people, Chinese people, that have illegally crossed, and what they tell me is 9 out of 10 of the illegal immigrants coming from China love the Communist Party, and they're just like, "Yo, it's just an economic downturn. We got to make some money. We'll be good."
Yeah, it's crazy that they think that it's just a downturn. No, we just talked about it. It's like it's a system
it's
stay
systemic.
The same way. Yeah,
it's systemic. All right, so last thing. It's Chinese New Year officially, basically. Do you have any funny Chinese New Year?
I don't have any money for you. What?
Do you have any funny Chinese stories about Chinese New Year that you might want to share with the audience?
Oh.
Yes, I definitely should have told you about that. I was going to ask you this question ahead of time, but if you need time, I can tell you my story. And then
tell me your story.
All right, I got to set the setting. It's
by putting on your glasses.
It's 2016. I am flying from Beijing to Chengdu to go and have Chinese New Year with who at the time and still to this day is one of my closest Chinese bros, who is from Neijiang, which is a really small city in Sichuan. You know, it's a really small city with about 2 million people. I actually don't remember how many people are, but it's in China. In China, it's very small. But anyway, I took the train. I took the plane from Beijing to Chengdu, and then me and him got in a train. And while we were on the train, we realized that I had left my laptop, my Mac Air, in the like the fold of the plane. So in like the little pocket in front of you that has like the brochure of how to like keep yourself safe in the event of a crash. I left my laptop in there, and I had already left the airport, and I'd gotten to the train station, which, you know, obviously is tons of people. And I got into the train, and I finally realized, I was like, oh my God, I left my laptop there. So my friend calls the airport. And by this time, me realizing it, you know, I'm a big white guy in a Chinese train. Everybody in the train is invested in this. They're like, what happened? They're like, oh, he left his laptop in the airport. All these Chinese people are like, oh, it's gone. All the Chinese people are like, yo, it's gone. You're screwed. You're never getting that back. And I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God. Finally, we talked to this guy at the airport. We get a hold of people, someone at the airport, lost and found. And they're like, we're going to go look it. We'll go look. Hopefully we can get it for you. They hang up. The whole tram is like, yo, he speaks Chinese. Like, why does he speak Chinese so well? And it's like, oh, he's at the Central Academy of Drama. And they're like, oh my God, Central Academy has foreigners there. Oh my God. Everyone is, it's literally like a scene of almost 40 people like invested in this laptop now.
Whoa.
And they finally calls back and they're like, we not only found it, but we sent a guy with the laptop to the train station. He's waiting for the next train to Neijiang, from Chengdu to Neijiang. He's on that train. And I'm like, okay, oh my God. And all the Chinese people on the train are like, woo, they're like clapping, they're like high-fiving.
It's like a Christmas miracle, but
yeah,
like a
new Christmas miracle. And they were like, yo, us Chinese people, we rock. And lo and behold, we get to the Neijiang station. We get out, and on the next train, maybe 40 minutes later, is this airport employee who's like, here you go. And he gets back on the train. He's like, peace, dude, I'm out. And that was it. And I got my laptop back. Pretty funny, huh?
Wow.
Pretty funny. Chinese people were all, the best part was they were all so cynical. They were like, nah, someone's going to sell it. You're screwed. Like, there's no way you're going to get that back. Like, welcome to China, buddy. You can't just lose things. And little did they know that as long as you are a charming white man that speaks Chinese, they'll be very nice to you.
Hey, racism works for your advantage.
Yeah, it works both ways. It's a two-way street, huh?
Two-way street. Racism is a two-way street. Don't say that.
Yeah. So that was my Chinese New Year story. I have a ton of others, but that was.
How many years did you spend in China? How many Chinese New Year?
In total, like 4.5 or almost 5, actually. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But the first like 2 Chinese New Years, I didn't really even know. My Chinese wasn't good. I stayed in the dorms, like Nanjing. I remember I stayed in the dorms, and it was like 5 a.m, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm just like, oh my God, what is happening? And I look outside, and Chinese people are all blowing up firecrackers at 5 a.m.
That is banned, unfortunately, and so is Chuxi.
Is it because they say it's too polluting, right?
Polluting. But Chuxi, the holiday,
it's
New
the
Year
day
Eve.
before New Year. Yeah,
the New Year Eve is banned because it sounds too much like.
Get rid of she? Are you serious? That is so funny.
Yo, wait, you didn't know this? I would think you knew this.
I may have seen it. I just forgot it. So wait, we have to explain this real quick for people that don't speak Chinese. In Chinese, the night before New Year's, which is usually the night where people get drunk and have a good time and, whatever, play mahjong, ask your family members about how much money they made this year, ask your female family members why they haven't gotten married, ask your married female cousins why they haven't had a kid yet, ask your married female cousins with kids why they haven't had a second kid yet. It's basically
and watch the big propaganda show.
The Chinese New Year's gala,
where they invite African folks.
Yeah, which sometimes they invite African folks, other times they just do blackface. Straight up, they just do blackface to be the dumber, uncultured role in skits, in skits that the whole country is doing. Right. Okay, so that's the setting.
So good time. That's what I'm saying.
It's a really good time. The Chinese New Year's gala, by the way, is brutally boring, especially since Xi Jinping took over. It's gone from like pretty bad to really bad. So bad that last year the audience members watching the Chinese New Year gala, like the clips of them being so bored went viral. Anyway, the night before New Year's, it's called Chuxi. Okay. There's 4 tones in Chinese. 2 tone, first tone, second tone, first tone. Chuxi, right? But Xi Jinping's name is second tone, Xi. So if you say Chuxi, it means to get rid of Xi, right? And that is why literally the most popular holiday in China is now being censored.
If Christmas Eve is banned.
Yeah. It was just
America.
Really restricted. Like no Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is not coming this year. Love the party. Dude, I saw a post that was like for gifts. It was like, you don't need to wait for old Saint Nick for Santa Claus. You have the People's Liberation Army. They will give you presents. Yeah.
Whoa.
People's Liberation Army will leave you presents. I love that. That is such a warm sentiment.
That is much warm sentiment than tanks.
Well, that could be the present. That could be the present.
Whoa.
It could be tanks at your doorstep.
It's got a lot darker.
Hey, that's where the more dark it gets, the more humor there probably is somewhere there.
That's true. We should probably do a sketch about C talking to her therapist.
His therapist? So that is a really good that's a good sketch idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good sketch idea. We should
I would be she, because I just got to put it on Witty Poo.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're the therapist. Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. So tell me.
So how do you feel about killing your former colleague?
Yeah. How do you feel about how did that affect you mentally? Killing your former colleague.
Did you take criticism as aggression,
Mr. Chi, I do feel like you sometimes take criticism as someone trying to kill you. What do you think that comes from?
Right. Do you think that's related to how you grew up in the Cultural Revolution era?
Do you think that's related to what you experienced as a young adult during the Cultural Revolution? What did you experience specifically? Did you experience poop, manure going all over your face? Do you know that clip when he talks about that? 满脸是粉.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
New
my
session,
God.
new therapist. Oh, that's it. It was like instead of the 2 sessions, Liang Hui, it'll be the 1 session, therapy session.
1 session therapy session.
I like that skit. All right, well, that's about it for this stream. Let's make sure we answer. Do you consider that your uncontrolled consumption of pork reflects on your upbringing?
How do you feel about Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, what is it about Winnie the Pooh that irritates you? Is it his not wearing pants? Is it the lack of pants? Or is it the lack of a genitalia?
Is it the red shirt?
Is it the red shirt? Are you like a bull? Yeah, that is funny. Ask if your foreign spouse has thrown out their refrigerator and is drinking hot water every day while avoiding fried foods. Wow, Dustin sounds like he has some experience here. Yeah, I don't understand that.
Dustin, I wish you Happy New Year.
All right. Well, thanks, guys, so much for coming. Thank you, Olivia. We will be doing this next Sunday as well, as long as Olivia will join us. What we're thinking is Sunday. Okay. What we're thinking for doing this is Sunday. Now, in the future, if we need to alter it to a different day, we might have to kind of adapt and move. But there we go.
So fun.
Peace. Until next time, guys. Have a great Chinese New Year and have a great Chuxi. All right. Peace.